I have added some things to the tubes. I put some tube dampers. They're up top, and they help vibration of the glass, which gives it makes it sound better because the vibrations, of course, rob detail. And I put some spikes under the bottom of the amplifiers to couple them to the floor, and I think they pretty much they sound better for sure. But we'll just I did that already, so just check it out. Just listen to this piece of music. Kind of cool.
Lovely, you cry the whole night through. Well, you can cry me a river, cry me a river. I cry that river over you. And oh, you say you're sorry for being so untrue.
Wow, nice.
Well,
whiskers on cannon, bright copper kettles,
and warm woolen mittens,
brown paper handkerchiefs tied up with strings.
These are a few of my favorite things. Better than cream cheese and bagels, better than honey on bread, better than champagne and pretzels, better than breakfast and bread, better than chili Rienos, better than chocolate eclairs, better than hot house tomatoes. better than dining a la carte, or simply
Frank.
gets to know my heart better than anything except being in love.
Cream-colored ponies and crystal streamers.
Uh-oh, that sounds like organ. Okay. Okay, so these are all examples of audiophile type recordings. That's at least how they're labeled. And as a matter of fact, we have the Hi-Fi Tribe has our very own in-house tracking engineer. That's a person that records music. And really, the way that it works is there's actually three different main engineers, or different hats, I guess. I guess one person could do them all, but it's rarely done that way. There's in any record that you buy, or CD or whatever, you will have the tracking engineer, who is the guy who actually does the recording. So he chooses the microphones, he chooses the placement, he actually gets the actual captures the recording, and then it goes to a mixing engineer who runs those all across the console, and he's got all the different, he sets the different levels of everything, and it sort of mixes them. So he puts some in the background or some in the foreground, whatever. He mixes them so it's to kind of balance things out. And a lot of times the recording or the tracking engineer is with the band, so he's there actually recording the people. So he's got a feel for the vibration of the band, and everything. He really can get a feel for them. After it goes to the mixing engineer is somewhere else. He's not even at that place. He wasn't there. He is, it could be in a different state altogether. And so he gets the music, then he has to mix it according to what he thinks sounds good, not based on anything but just what he might think sounds good at that time in that room. And then from there, it goes to the mastering engineer. It's a third guy, and he wasn't with the band, and he wasn't even with the second guy. He's on his own in his studio, and he does the mastering based on what he thinks sounds good. So you've got three different people with three different ideas of what sounds good, and each one of them is doing a different part of that album. Now, part of that, the mixing guy, the middle guy, can also do overdubs, where they take something that was recorded and they lay it on top of the other one, or they lay it into the mix. Okay, so what didn't really happen that way. They're creating something that is created in the studio. It exists only in the recording or the mixed part. It never existed as an actual event. They're making it. They're layering things on top of each other that happen at different times. They're putting it all together in sync, and then getting a result from it. So it's fabricated, that song, or that with the dubs and everything. It's a fabricated piece that you would never hear it like that, because it wasn't never done like that. So it's fabricated in the studio after the artists have done it, and it's fabricated by a guy that wasn't even around the band to know what the vibe was. So he's taking a guess. So it's no wonder that the recordings that we get are totally, a lot of them they're just discombobulated. Some of them are masterful and they sound really cool, but none of them was really captured the live event, and that's really where the magic is. We find that the magic is really in that first, the recorded event where the band was playing, or the musicians were playing, or musician. They're creating something. It's improvisation. They're doing something right at that moment that is coming out of thin air, and they're just creating it, okay? There is magic to us in that moment of creation that if you capture it all at once at that point, you could call it first take or first take recording. Okay, we're going to take one, and we're taking one take, and you're gonna play it, and if there's mistakes or if there's little things, that's natural. We're going to catch it. We're not going to change it. We're going to recreate the exact live event. And when you do that, there's something inherently more real about it, because it is a real event that was captured. It's not something that's overdubbed and layered and never really existed. Okay? So there's a different vibration with the first take type recording. And that means the tracking engineer has to be very, very good. He has to have a huge microphone collection, because he will choose different microphones to shape the sound, and to get the best sonic that he's looking for that room or for that musician or for that type of instrument, rather than quote unquote, fixing it in the studio. A lot of people they'll just track it and grab the thing, and hey, if we need to make changes, we'll do it in the studio. And that's not at all the philosophy of our tracking engineers. His name is Tony Minassian from Tony and Labs in LA. He's very good at what he does. He's got a great big microphone collection, and he takes first take recordings, and they sound phenomenal. So I'm going to give you a little taste of what this recording is, because it's going to segue into another. It's a program that we do with Hi-Fi Tribe to give back to the artist, and it's like a yearly fee. So you as a listener would pay 30. Let's say what is this right now? 30. I don't know, it's 30. It's around $30. Okay, per year. That's it. So it's like whatever. $3. Not even $3 a month. $2 a month or something, right? And for that, you would get 6 full CDs of audiophile level recorded music. So it's a great bargain. And it allows, if we have to get a certain amount of people. So let's see, we get 1,000. We need 1,000 subscribers, because then that gives enough that we can pay the talent, because we have to pay the talent to come and then perform the music, right? Because they're going to do session work for us. So we will create these. They will be exclusive recordings that no one else gets except for the Hi-Fi Tribe. And I'll give you a little example of something right now so you can hear what it sounds like, and then I can go into more later. But let's take a peek or take a listen. I'm gonna just switch to another one real quick and see. Anyways, pretty cool stuff. So that's Tony's recordings, and he is our in-house tracking engineer, part of the Hi-Fi tribe. And so part of what we do to support the arts, support the artists, especially through these tough times, and as well as when they're not touring. And who knows when that will happen, when the people will be able to gather again for concerts. So during this time, we're going to put our best foot forward and create a service, or it's just like a yearly thing that you'd sign up for, and it's on the site right now, and you can sign up for it. And what'll happen is, since I need to get 1,000 people, we need to have 1,000 people to do this. We would the first 1,000. Okay, so like let's say that you get I get 800, and we never get 1,000. Then that means so there's not going to be the yearly thing, right? We have to hang it up. But so those first people that signed on don't get rooked on the deal. The first 1,000 will get, they're going to get, as soon as they sign up, they'll get the equivalent of 6 CDs worth to take care of that ramp up period. So we'll give that to you right off the cuff, and then in the following years, we will, or however long it takes to get 1,000 people. I mean, it could be this year if it happens in 30 days. If that happens, then we'll be able to call the shots in terms of we hire the musicians, and then we tell them what to play. Whereas right now with some of these recordings, he is recording them on their own practice time, doing whatever they're doing. So he can't direct them at that point. He's just capturing what they're doing. So we'll have we can do all sorts of different genres, and it won't be pigeonholed into one thing, because he's got tons of contacts, for session playing. So anyways, just wanted to let you know about that. That's what that thing is on the website of 11stereo.com. So check that out, and thanks for joining. Talk to you later. Hey, hello everybody. I wanted to add this in on the end because I just forgot this part before I wrap this up, is that in terms of the audiophile recordings, the high-res formats really don't have much to do with whether or not a recording is audiophile. In fact, they have nothing to do with whether a recording is audiophile or not. All of the audiophileness, if you will, is done on the front end, in the production, in the recording, and then sometimes it's done in the further steps, the mixing, the mastering, and so forth. But just to put it in a high-res format does you no good unless it was recorded in a high-res format and recorded well with a good tracking engineer and good microphones, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of times, don't think that just because it's a high-res format that it's going to sound good, that it's going to be a good recording, because you can just have a crappy recording in high resolution. It doesn't, it's not related. So same with all these new things they bring out, MQA and all this stuff. Nothing can take the place of a good first take recording. That's all there is to it. That's the purest way to go, and that's why we do it. So I just wanted to mention that because I realized, boy, I didn't mention anything about high res, so I wanted to do that real quick. Okay, thanks. See you.